In the winter of 2005, a burglary occurred in Dingbian, Shaan Xi Province. It wasn't a big case, resulting in a few thousand yuan worth of items stolen. However, as the police investigated the theft, a girl mysteriously disappeared, turning the case into a baffling mystery that haunted the local for 7 years. If you find this case intriguing, welcome to like and follow. Every Saturday night, real Asian horror stories will meet you here. On the morning of December 16, 2005, a middle-aged woman named Wan Hong reported a burglary to the police. She had just returned from a business trip 2 days earlier and found signs of a break-in. Upon checking, she discovered that her camera, gold necklace, and 700 yuan in cash were missing. Upon examining the scene, the police from Dingbian County found that this burglary was unusual. The house showed no obvious signs of being ransacked, which didn't match the behavior of a typical theft. Even more puzzling was how the thief had entered. The residential compound was enclosed by a 2-meter-high wall, topped with anti-theft glass shards, and both Wan Hong's windows and security door were intact. At this point, Wan Hong remembered a girl named Qiao Li, her distant niece who worked at a local telecom company, was missing at the same time. Before the burglary, Qiao Li had been staying temporarily at Wan Hong's house. She was there when Wan Hong left 2 days earlier, but upon Wan Hong's return, Qiao Li was gone. And her colleagues also noted that she had stopped coming to work a day before. Her boss had tried to contact her, but her phone was turned off. This raised police suspicions. Had Qiao Li stolen Wan Hong's things and fled out of guilt? The investigation revealed that Qiao Li was a 24-year-old recent college graduate known for her kind and upright character. He had a well-paying job and coming from a well-off family, so she had no financial needs. Actually, the police didn't believe Qiao Li was a thief too, because they found her car case and work bag complete with its contents in her bedroom. This was not consistent with someone fleeing out of guilt. Additionally, they found her bank book under her pillow with 5,000 yuan in it. If she was after money, why not take her bank book? Further inquiries with her colleagues revealed that Qiao Li was very introverted. Despite working at a company for over a year, she had no close friends and led a routine life. However, Qiao Li had a habit of calling her parents every evening after work. According to her father, the last call from Qiao Li was at around 6 p.m. on the first day of Wan Hong's trip. Nothing seemed unusual during the call, but they lost contact afterward, and her phone became unreachable. The police then reviewed Qiao Li's call records. Strangely, after the call with her father, she made another call at 6:56 p.m. to Wan Hong's mother. But this old lady said when she picked up the phone, there was no voice on the other end, just the sound of car horns. She thought it was a back signal and hung up and tried calling back, but then Qiao Li's phone was off. Concerned, she informed Wan Hong instantly, who also tried calling Qiao Li to no avail. The car case, work bag, and bank book left behind suggested Qiao Li did return home after work, but then suddenly disappeared. This pointed to an unplanned disappearance rather than a premeditated escape. So what had happened to this girl? The police first suspected that Qiao Li might have been kidnapped, but neighbors reported no unusual activity or strange noises that day. At the same time, her family posted missing person notices wildly, but there was no news. The police realized a random, extensive search wouldn't help and decided to revisit Wan Hong for more details. This time, Wan Hong mentioned more anomalies that made the case seem more than just a simple theft. In a corner of Wan Hong's living room, there was a large wardrobe that used to have 2 black suitcases on top. And after the burglary, one of the suitcases was missing. Considering only the camera, gold necklace, and 700 yuan were stolen, it didn't make sense to use such a large suitcase. Additionally, Wan Hong noticed a kitchen knife, which was originally stored in a cupboard under the stove, now was placed on the overhead cabinet in the kitchen. Why would a thief do this? The police re-examined Wan Hong's house thoroughly and found the scene had been meticulously cleaned, with no fingerprints or hair left behind. However, a careful officer discovered a trace of blood under the toilet in the bathroom and more blood in the tile cracks behind the door. Later, DNA tests confirmed the blood belonged to Qiao Li. Now everyone had their hearts in their mouth. Soon, the news about a young girl missing in this community spread like wildfire. Then a 50-year-old lady who was the gatekeeper of this place reported to the police that on the night of Qiao Li disappeared, around 2 or 3 a.m., a man in his 20s, about 170 centimeters tall, speaking with an Xi'an accent, claiming to be a resident and requested to leave. However, she'd never seen him before. This community has strict management. After 11 p.m., the gates were closed and anyone entering or exiting had to register with her. But she had never seen this mysterious man before and didn't see him enter the community that day. The police found this man highly suspicious and started with Qiaoli's fiancé. He was a tall, slender man, 23 years old, from Shanxi, with an accent similar to a Xi'an accent. They had a good relationship and were planning to marry at the end of the year. Seemed like he didn't have a motive for the crime, and he had a solid alibi. Thus, the police ruled him out as a suspect. Given Qiaoli's limited social circle and lack of close friends, the police investigated everyone remotely connected to her, but everyone was ruled out. Then Wan Hong remembered an unusual event. The night before the incident, her online boyfriend's neighbor visited unexpectedly while she and Qiaoli were watching TV in the living room. After her divorce, Wan Hong had met a man from Ningxia online and confirmed a romantic relationship. The visitor was her boyfriend's neighbor, nicknamed Northeast due to his accent. Wan Hong was surprised by Northeast's visit. He explained he was visiting a friend in Shanxi but ran out of money and asked to borrow 20 yuan. Wan Hong agreed, as they had gotten along very well. The Northeast said he had something to discuss and took Wan Hong to the bedroom for a long talk. At the time, Qiaoli felt uneasy about this man and found an opportunity to call Wan Hong out of the bedroom, after which Northeast left. With this new lead, the police went to Ningxia to find the Northeast, but his place was already empty. Neighbors only knew he was from out of town and an employed man who rented the place. Due to his accent, they called him Northeast but didn't know his real name or whereabouts. The police then investigated about this man, but very little is known about him. Then the lead was abruptly cut off, causing the case to stall for 3 years. During these years, Qiaoli's parents tried everything to find her, following any leads about missing girls being found, but always in vain. The police, under immense pressure, sent more personnel, frequently traveling between the Northeast and Ningxia for extensive inquiries. Finally, they learned from acquaintances that Northeast had a girlfriend in Ningxia named Ping Ping. Ping Ping had dated Northeast for over 2 years and might have crucial information. However, like Northeast, he was also an unemployed drifter without a fixed address, so it took the police nearly 6 months to find her. In the interrogation, Ping Ping revealed that Northeast's real name was Quan Wei from Henan Province. On December 10, 2005, 4 days before Qiaoli disappeared, they had a big fight, and he left with a suitcase. 6 days later, which was 3 days after Qiaoli vanished, Quan Wei mysteriously returned, telling Ping Ping not to reveal his actions or whereabouts to anyone. Then he gave her a big hug and left with his luggage again. With this information, the police focused on Quan Wei. With the help of Henan police, they soon had the lead on this man. In 2008, he was in prison for rape. Just as they were about to interrogate him, an unbelievable fact emerged. The verdict showed that Quan Wei had been detained by Henan police in August 2005 and sentenced to prison in October the same year. Since Qiaoli disappeared in December 2005, Quan Wei had been in custody for 4 months. Prison records confirmed he never left, had no medical parole, and couldn't have escaped. This revelation shocked the police. This means Quan Wei couldn't be the burglar, which overturned 3 years of investigation efforts and bringing the case back to square one. Shocked, disappointed, confused, the police then wondered who had bid farewell to Ping Ping if Quan Wei was in prison. Did Ping Ping lie? Skeptical, they took a prison photo of Quan Wei and showed it to Ping Ping. She confirmed that the man in the photo was her ex-boyfriend, Quan Wei. Moreover, both Wan Hong and her boyfriend identified the man in the photo as Quan Wei. At this point, the police were utterly baffled, and the case hit yet another dead end. Next, the police went to Henan to investigate Quan Wei's family, but unfortunately, his family had moved and the new residents didn't know their whereabouts. But a neighbor provided a crucial clue. Quan Wei had a brother named Quan Chao, and they were twins. According to the neighbor, the brothers looked identical and even sounded the same. Even those who had known them for years couldn't tell them apart. However, long before when Quan Chao was still a teenager, he had game addiction and exploded a heated argument with his father. Then he cut off 2 segments of his left pinky finger in a fit of anger. And this was the only way to distinguish between the brothers. Now the police and you probably had the same thought. Could the man in prison be the younger brother Quan Chao instead of Quan Wei? With the help of Henan police, they collected the prisoner's fingerprints. Sure enough, the left pinky was missing 2 segments. The case was now halfway solved. The brothers had switched identities, with Quan Chao serving the prison sentence under Quan Wei's name. But why did they do this? Under Chinese law, repeated offenders within 5 years of release face harsher penalties. Quan Chao had been in prison for theft in 1995 and released in 2000. He was arrested for rape in 2005, just within 5 years of his release. so the police believed he used his brother's name just to avoid severe punishment. But now the question remained, where was the real Quan Wei? Upon learning that Quan Wei was originally from Daqing, the police went there and finally tracked him down. He was living under Quan Chao's name, and according to a Daqing court verdict, the defendant Quan Chao was sentenced to 10 years in prison for theft and fined 5,000 yuan in 2009. With the brother's identity clearly established, the police finally located the suspect, Quan Wei, also known as Northeast. However, the police hesitated on whether to interrogate him immediately. Although they had confirmed the brothers' identities, there was no direct evidence linking Quan Wei to Qiao Li's murder. The missing suitcase, the moved kitchen knife, and the bloodstains in the bathroom did not directly implicate him. To avoid alerting the suspect, the police decided not to question just yet and instead focused on re-examining the evidence. Ultimately, they turned their attention to the relocated kitchen knife. But unfortunately, forensic examination revealed that the knife had been meticulously cleaned, including the handle, leaving no traces of evidence. The case once again reached a dead end. By this point, the investigation had stretched over 5 years, causing immense anguish for both the police and Qiao Li's family. During these 5 years, Qiao Li's parents never ceased searching for their daughter, and the prolonged distress even affected her father's mental state. Seeing the family suffering, Officer Su, the lead detective on the case, decided to bring in retired Chief Gao, a renowned forensic expert in Shanxi. This decision would eventually breathe new life into the investigation. Chief Gao carefully examined the crime scene materials and noted that the bloodstain behind the door was significant. The shape of the stain suggested it was made by a mop or similar fabric. To test this hypothesis, Chief Gao conducted an experiment using a mop and red ink, creating imprints that closely resembled the stain found at the scene. Coincidentally, there was indeed a mop in the washroom which the killer had cleaned, and this supported the theory that there had been a substantial amount of blood in the bathroom at the time of the crime. Further inspection of the kitchen knife revealed a unique curved notch on the blade. This type of damage was unlikely to be caused by atypical materials like steel or tiles. Chief Gao theorized that the notch was caused by something hard and curved, such as human bone. Connecting this with the missing large suitcase, the police concluded that Qiao Li was likely murdered, dismembered, and her remains removed from the scene in the suitcase. Nearly 5 years had passed since the crime. The house had long sold by Wan Hong, so the police had to rely on existing evidence. Chief Gao re-examined the kitchen knife, then he made a bold decision. He requested the forensic team to dismantle the handle and use advanced testing techniques to find human cellular tissue within the handle. Finally, their efforts paid off. They gathered the tissue and further analysis revealed that the DNA matched Quan Chao. This critical discovery provided the police with concrete evidence linking Quan Chao to the crime, strengthening this case significantly. The special task force finally obtained direct evidence to link Quan Wei to the murder. In December 2011, after securing the necessary approval, the task force escorted this cunning murderer from Heilongjiang province back to Shanxi for interrogation. The interrogation began that evening quickly. As expected, Quan Wei denied all accusations of murder, insisting that he was actually his brother, Quan Chao. He refused to divulge any family information, falsely claiming that their parents were deceased. However, he did not anticipate the police presenting the DNA evidence from the kitchen knife handle. After an hour of confrontation, Quan Wei finally confessed to the robbery and murder. It started when I was with Wan Hong. She had a boyfriend who happened to live in the same place as me. I got to know Wan Hong through him, and he also gave me her address, Quan Wei explained. He recounted how he had visited Wan Hong, borrowed 20 yuan, but quickly spent it. The following evening, around 6 o'clock, he returned to borrow more money but found Wan Hong absent and Qiao Li at home. Qiao Li was displeased with his behavior, accusing him of trying to scam her for money. Their confrontation escalated quickly, and in a fatal rage, Quan Wei strangled Qiao Li. He then retrieved the kitchen knife and dismembered her body, placing the parts into a suitcase. He meticulously cleaned the crime scene until 2 or 3 in the morning, taking all valuables from the house before leaving. Upon reaching the 2-meter-high courtyard wall, Quan Wei returned to the house to fetch a stool to use as a step. However, the security glass shards atop the wall and the cumbersome suitcase made it difficult to climb over. Ultimately, he abandoned the attempt and asked the security guard to open the gate for him. Quan Wei then transported Qiao Li's remains to a nearby village called Youai and discarded them in an abandoned well. The police soon located this well at the courtyard and retrieved the skeletal remains. Forensic tests confirmed the identity of the remains, and Qiao Li's hair clip, which she wore on the day of her death, was also found buried with her bones. Further investigation revealed that Chen Wei was also responsible for numerous other robberies and murders. Once all his crimes were verified, he would face a new sentence, likely the death penalty, I think. Finally, the show interviewed Charlie's parents. These nearly 60-year-old parents who lost their only child broke down when talking about the incident. Charlie's father often got this spaced-out look and hit on the tree and boarding while walking on the road. Her mother, in particular, developed mental health issues because of this. She often looks at college girls on the street and asks her husband if their daughter has come back. I have to admit, as I grow older, I found it harder to watch stories about parents losing their only child. Maybe it's because I am an only child too. So every time I see things like this, I deeply feel the pain that parents must go through. At first, the brothers' actions seemed almost absurd and laughable, but after seeing Charlie's parents, I just can't joke about it anymore, so let's just call it a day, everyone. I hope you all live safely and meet good people, and also thanks to the police for their unwavering pursuit of justice. You are the true heroes. See you next time.